Yes, sir. It's my third fall now. That first fall was a little shaky and my head was spinning, but I'm coming in first week of practice, just getting guys open, making the right play, making the right read. It's pretty simple.
How do you guys go about doing what Coach asked you to do after the practice in terms of being more consistent and growing that consistency?
Yeah, we just do everything game-like speed. You're not going to get nothing out of it going half speed, You might go half speed if you're just looking for one step, but we're just going game-like speed.
Obviously, one big difference is the cameras on the helmets this year. Does it feel any different when you're out there throwing, having that, on the front?
I can definitely feel a little weight on my forehead, but it's not too big of a deal, no.
So, obviously, you found out yourself last year how important it is to be ready 1 through 3.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Talk about how important it is when you have to get into the sport.
I felt like I was as ready as I could be as a third-string quarterback. I signaling for Chase and Gunner. When Gunner went out, it was definitely wasn't expecting it, but you just got to be ready to handle adversity.
How did that getting in that type of a high-pressure situation prepare you?
The nerves were high. We needed to win that game. We obviously didn't, but it obviously served me well going into spring. I felt confident, felt calm. It was good.
How has the adjustment been to Division II, and how have you gone about trying to pick up this offense?
The adjustment's been going well. I wouldn't really say that the big differences between Division I and Division II. There's insane amounts of talent at every level I've been at. It's just the big difference is the offense and play styles. When I was at South Dakota, we were huddling up. We were, taking 20, 25 seconds per play. Here, we're taking 4 plays in 25 seconds. So, it's just a big difference, really trying to set my teeth in and learn as much as I can from Coach Gleason. Obviously, he ran this offense to perfection for his time here, and he's coaching it as close to perfection as he can. So I just want to learn as much from him as I can and be ready when I am.
How do you guys go about trying to get better and do some of the things that Coach talked about after practice in terms of trying to get more consistent and more of the positive good plays, eliminating the bad plays?
Just repetition. That's the most important thing, is not just repetition and doing it okay, doing it kind of right, doing it perfect every time you rep it, and repping it as much as you can every second you have, and just get better as much as you can throughout the day.
You talked about it briefly, but how fun is it to play an offense that's this fast?
Oh, this offense is a blast. It's really just every quarterback's greatest dream. You get to throw it 40, 45 times a game, and you get to throw it probably once every 10 seconds. So, it's amazing. It's night and day from my last school. It's night and day from my last school. Don't get me wrong, I loved my teammates. I loved everything there, but I would definitely say that this is more my style.
Perfect. Transfer got a little bit of a taste in the spring. How do you feel like that's helped you kind of acclimate to the offense, maybe a little quicker than otherwise?
I think getting here in the spring definitely helps. I know we had 3 quarterbacks here too, so I was just getting a lot of reps. I was going with a lot of different guys, but these coaches, everything I ask, they help me out. So I got to give it credit to all the coaches, all the guys. We have a young team, like I'm sure everyone has said, but everyone's eager. Everyone wants to learn. Everyone asks me questions, and sometimes I don't know the answer, so I got to go through 2 guys. But once we figure it out, we're all on the same page. And today we had a really good practice. Everyone's on the same page. It's just there's gonna be more of that, so I'm just excited.
What's it like to be coached by maybe the greatest ever do that position?
That's the guy I give all the props to. I'm literally everything he tells me, I try and do exactly what he says. You have no other better guy to do it than the man who did it himself. So shout out Coach Gleason. He gets it done. He'll come in and throw a couple routes on air and try to show me up. We're a little competitive, but it's all good. That's how it should be.
You guys are wearing the cameras. They didn't have those last year. How do you guys use that video in your preparation to kind of be able to have a look after the fact to see exactly what you're seeing?
Yeah, I think it's weird because I've never done it before, obviously, and it is a little weird wearing in practice, but you get a little used to it. It kind of helps, you feel like you don't have a helmet on, because it kind of weighs you down, and you take it off and you feel pretty good, but definitely helps. To see a play you mess up on and to go right back into it and be able to correct yourself and come out the next day and execute it, it helps a lot. I think it's a really good advantage. I think, it's great because that's like I said, everyone has questions. Like, everyone wants to have the right answer, which is good. Like, there's no confusion when we're out on the field. And if there is, we solve it right there. That's why, like, we have some, like, Kingsley Bennett, Trendon, like, these guys have played football. Malik have played football. Mason Ford, like, these guys know, but they ask me questions. They want to get on the same page as me, which is huge. That's important, in my opinion. Appreciate it. Hey, thank you guys so much. Yes, sir. We'll see you guys around.
With 3 guys maybe in the mix, certainly a leader coming into camp. Not that it's been decided yet, but how do you feel like the guys have approached trying to win that starting job?
I think they've approached it the right way. Just coming to work every day and competing, and that started every day in the spring, every day in the summer, whether it was workouts, throwing on their own, working with the receivers. I think just bringing that competition within this room every single day is going to get the best out of one another. And at the end of the day, having all your QBs in that room competing with each other, getting the best out of each other, that's going to lead to some success.
Looking at today, it's a little bit hotter, upper 90s. We got the big Kansas win today.
Hell yeah.
So it's definitely going to be a game day type of atmosphere. How do you feel like they handled the conditions today?
I thought we had a really good practice. I thought for, like you saying, being as hot as it is, the win, I don't think our guys worried about that too much. I think they just worried about, hey, we need to get practice started on the right foot. We do our little bandit drill, and it's unrealistically fast. And I tell those quarterbacks, like, you got to do that as fast as you can, because once it translates to the game, it's going to be slower in the game, and you're going to be like, wow, that's kind of easier than practice at sometimes. So that's harping on just making those guys start practice the right way, and just taking charge and driving the bus out there.
If you didn't have access to this while you were quarterback, how would maybe this video stuff that you guys are doing with the quarterback's helmets, would you have liked to have had access to that?
I would have loved to have the VR set. Those guys can, they get out there, they got the cameras on their helmets, they can, say I'm a freshman right now and I didn't get many reps at practice. Well, I can get all the reps that the starter and the second string had that day, because it allows you to coach them off the field. It allows you to slow it down and truly show them that, hey, this is your read right here. You can show it on the screen and watching film, but now they're truly seeing exactly who you're talking about, and it's linked up to our TV, so I can see where their eyes are going, or, hey, it's one high here, we need to do this, or whatever. I can see exactly where their eyes are going, and that helps me from playing the position, because I know exactly what you're looking for, and I can see if your eyes are wrong, and not maybe from the eye in the sky. It's actually that eye right there. It's been very helpful, because those guys could get reps all summer. Even though we can't practice and stuff, they could still get 50 reps a day at home doing their footwork. They can do everything but not throw a ball. So they're getting a lot of reps at it.
How do you feel like your quarterbacks handled a much more training camp-like day out here today?
I thought as a whole, they did good. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement. But I thought Ben Harris had a really good practice today, honestly. So I think Mason did. I think the first, 2 guys that would be out with those first 2 units, I felt like did a good job. The expectations of quarterback play here is very high. So that's why, there are glimpses where both of those guys, we really get in a rhythm offensively, and we look like a typical Emporia State offense. And then there's times where we, make a mistake, and that mistake can really hinder our rhythm, So we just got to get a little bit more consistent. I think our younger guys, their heads are spinning a little bit. J-Mo and Josh, I do think J-Mo is somebody that is doing, for just being a young freshman, is doing a really good job. And then Todd, he's just got to get healthy. We got to get him healthy. It's hard for him to gain any consistency when he practices, half a day and he's injured, and we got to get him healthy.
BG said that he would have loved to have had access to the VR suite that you guys have now for the quarterbacks. It seems like you guys are up on the latest in technology all the time with the drones and video and what.
I love technology, Blake. Okay.
You use a lot of it.
So yeah. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
You say you love technology jokingly, but how do you feel like that VR is helping your quarterback?
I think it helps them tremendously. It's like they actually get live reps. They do everything in there, but actually throw a ball. All right, you see it just like you would see it in a game. I treat it like a video game. In this day and age, young people, they like to play video games, right? Man, if we could figure out a way to really keep score with it, I would play it. Because I say this all the time out there at practice, standing behind the quarterbacks and looking at where they should be going. I always say, if I only would have had an arm, I would have flourished in this offense, but had no arm, okay? But could understand. So that's why VR, I like it because I can pick where I'm going and it's completed every time because you don't actually throw the ball. So, but it's so game-like, and I know Braden does wish he wishes that he had it back when he played. I'm sure a lot of our past quarterback. We talked about it in the golf tournament that we had VR, kind of bragging about it, with technology with our guys that have played here before. So I think it's huge, and we just got to continue to use it.
I know you said you were kind of prejudiced against left-handed quarterbacks until BG showed up. Had a pretty good lefty last year too. Okay, going back around to the right side this time?
Well, I'm no longer confused when it comes to footwork. So I think Braden is now. Coach Gleason is now. I saw him today showing a drop like everybody was left-handed. But no, he definitely sold me on you can recruit left-handed quarterbacks.
In terms of the quarterback battle, I know you said coming in, it was Harris had put himself in the lead. Any change from that? Named a starter yet? Where you feel like you are, and how will you handle that over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it's still in that same position. I think I feel like that we've communicated with, especially those two guys, to kind of let them know kind of where they're at. I think Mason, and I've said this to Mason, I want to see him show that he has been here and understands this offense the way that I've seen him understand it, and kind of get back to playing the way he did when he was a redshirt freshman. Not that he's not doing that, but it's just that consistency level. I still think there's a higher level for him that he can go to push Ben, to make Ben better. At the same time, Ben is getting better. I see those, like I said earlier, the glimpses of like that looks like what quarterbacks have done here before. We just got to be more consistent with it.
The release is coming out later today, but they're announcing to everybody Hornet Talk moving to 6 o'clock. How excited are you for it to be back on Mondays and in the evenings for people to come out and talk to your team and meet your team?
Yeah, I mean, I just like Hornet Talk, gives us an opportunity to talk about the program. But I am excited about, I guess, 6 p.m., I've never done it at night before. So I think just from a coaching standpoint in our workload, I think it'd be a little bit better because, we're really just kind of getting started, and then we would have to leave for lunch to go to Hornet Talk. So, but anytime I have an opportunity to talk football with you, Blake, it doesn't matter what time, we're good. All right. So, and I think changing the venue may make it different. Maybe it'll get more people there, and that's what we hope for.
Awesome. Gotta hope so.
All right.